Welcome to Orthodox World This Week, Orthodox News in Digital Space. I'm your host, Abel Matthew Selex. Let's see what happened in the Orthodox world last week. Over 50 Christians massacred by gunmen in Ondo State, Nigeria. Over 50 Christians, including women and children, were gunned down by unknown gunmen during the Pentecost Sunday service held at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State in southwestern Nigeria on 5th June 2022. A group of terrorists broke into the church during the worship and gunned down as many as they could. St. Francis Catholic Church is one of the biggest churches in the region. Some reports state that nearly 70 people were killed and a few others kidnapped. No one has claimed the responsibility of the attack. However, in recent times, Nigeria has become the hub of Islamic terrorism in Africa. Christians in Nigeria face severe persecutions from Islamic extremist groups like Boko Haram, Fulani Headsmen, and over 15,000 Christians have been murdered since 2015, even though the exact number is considerably higher. According to the United States Commission on the International Religious Freedom, violent Islamist groups based in northern Nigeria remain some of the deadliest and most formidable jihadist groups operating in the world today. Patriarch Daniel urges to pray for the unity of Orthodox Church. On the seventh Sunday of Pascha, Patriarch Daniel spoke about the First Ecumenical Council in Nicene, a code that connects between the Feast of Ascension of Lord and the descent of the Holy Spirit. He stated that significantly, when Jesus speaks of the unity of the church, he is not offering any worldly institution as a model. Jesus did not say that the church should be one like the Roman Empire or the Greek Republic, but he said that it should be one as we are one. The model and source of the unity of church is the most holy Trinity. But it is not enough to confess the creed alone, but we must also pray for the unity of the church. He further stated that this Sunday shows us that the unity must be maintained by confessing the true faith, but in communion with the whole church. That is why the fathers formulated the creed in communion. The unity of the church is maintained in a state of prayer and communion with the other Orthodox. Patriarch Porphyry of Serbia presented the Tomos of Autocephaly to Macedonian Orthodox Church, Ohrid Archbishopric. On June 5, 2022, after the liturgy served in Cathedral of the Holy Archangel Michael and the Belgrade, Patriarch Porphyry of Serbia presented Tomos of Autocephaly to Archbishop Stefan, primate of the Macedonian Orthodox Church, Ohrid Archbishopric. A large number of bishops, clergy, and faithful from Serbian and Macedonian churches witnessed the historic event. Last month, in a surprise move, the Holy Synod of Bishops of the Serbian Orthodox Church unanimously recognized the autocephaly of Macedonian Orthodox Church, Archbishopric of Ohrid. A reconciliation liturgy was celebrated on 19th of May 2022 in the capital city of Cathedral of Saint Sava in the presence of Archbishop Jovan of Ohrid of the Serbian Patriarchate. However, the granting of the Tomos of autocephaly by the Serbian Patriarchate has questioned the position of the Church of Constantinople. According to Orthodox tradition, the Church of Constantinople is privileged as scholastically entity for granting autocephaly to the local churches. 10 new bishops consecrated for the Coptic Orthodox Church. Pope Theodore II ordained 10 new bishops at the Cathedral of the Nativity of Christ in the new administrative capital of Egypt on 5th of June 2022. 98 bishops, several priests, and a large number of faithful took part in the consecration ceremony. The bishops were ordained during the Divine Liturgy, which comprised of the procession of the monks nominated for the episcopate, reading of the episcopal pledge, and granting of the episcopal service cloths. The newly consecrated bishops will be assigned to their respective monasteries, dioceses at the earliest. Vandalism and attack on Christian properties continue to take place in Jerusalem. Apart from the recent attacks on various Christian properties, churches, and chapels, the Jewish radicals broke into the chapel of Orthodox Patriarchate on the hill of Zion. They threatened the guard and they defiled the interior of the chapel, even though the Patriarchate has lodged a complaint with the concerned authorities, it seems that the Israeli judicial system is least bothered to grant justice to the church. On the 8th of June 2022, the Israel Supreme Court rejected the Patriarchate's attempt to counter the purchase of a property by Atret Kohanim from the Greek Orthodox Church through a certain misconduct. The ruling was made in 2017. The Patriarchate stated that such a decision from the court was unfair by all means, as extremist Jewish groups continued to employ illegal methods to acquire Christian property in Jerusalem. Metropolitan Anthony appointed new chairman of the External Church Relations Department of the Russian Orthodox Church. Metropolitan Anthony of Syriacus and Western Europe is appointed as the new chairman of the Department of External Church Relations of the Moscow Patriarchate by the Holy Synod. He is also confirmed as a permanent member of the Synod of the Russian Church. Metropolitan Hilarion has been released from the chairmanship of Department of External Church Relations of Russian Orthodox Church and has been appointed as the administrator of the Budapest Hungarian Diocese. Metropolitan Anthony will hold the title Metropolitan of Molomesk as the chairman of Department of External Church Relations of Russian Church. Earlier, he has been a consultant to the then chairman of Metropolitan Kirill of Solomonsk and Kaliningrad, who was the chairman of Department of External Church Relations at that time, who is the present Patriarch of Russian Orthodox Church. Metropolitan Anthony has graduated from the St. Petersburg Theological Seminary. He has also served as a teacher at the Solomonsk Theological Seminary. Moreover, he has served as the head of Patriarchal Episcopate in Western Europe, Russian Orthodox Diocese of the Syriacus and Patriarchal Exarch in Western Europe. Metropolitan Anthony has spent a considerable amount of time ministering the Russian Orthodox faithful in Italy. Coptic Orthodox Church to constitute Council of Ecclesiastical Education. The closing plenary session of the Synod of Coptic Church was held on 9th of June at the Logos Center at the papal headquarters of Monastery of Saint Anaba Bishai in Wadi El Munturu, headed by Pope Theodorus II, with the participation of 120 members of the Synod out of 137. The session began with a speech by the Pope entitled Aspects of Episcopal Responsibility, the first part which will be published in the latest issue of Evangelization magazine. The Synod made a number of decisions based on the recommendation from its main committees. After the extensive penetration and discussions during the plenary session, which lasted for 4 hours, the most important decisions are as follows. Recognizing the holiness of Monk Iathos El Antony from the monastery of Saint Anthony in Red Sea and Father Bishoy Camel, the famous Coptic priest. It was decided that the exchange of the relics of saints can only take place by an official document approved by the metropolitan or bishop. And it was decided to form a Council of Ecclesiastical Education and the Council of the Coptic Theological Academy. A list of people holding doctorate and master's degree will be submitted to the Secretariat of the Synod for the same. Pope also urged the members of the Holy Synod to pay attention in helping poor and underprivileged families to face economic crisis that is currently sweeping the world and to encourage micro-enterprises as an effective tool to confront this crisis. His Holiness noted the need for the diocese to pay attention to the issues of preserving the environment and climatic change through practical solutions. At the conclusion of the session, the members of the Holy Synod approved a proposal to extend the term after the current General Secretariat of the Holy Synod for a period of 3 years. Moscow Patriarch receives Crimean Diocese under the jurisdiction, warns of schism in Ukraine. In response to the request from the metropolitans of Diocese of Donetsk, Simferopol, and Feodosia in Crimea, they have been received into the direct jurisdiction of Russian Orthodox Church. These dioceses were formerly under the jurisdiction of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. However, the recent war in Ukraine and the situation in Crimea have resulted in a new change. The decision was approved during the recent session of the Synod of the Russian Church. The Synod also commented on the status of Ukrainian Orthodox Church, by stating that any changes can only be made within the framework of the canonical procedure, including decision of the local council of Russian Orthodox Church. Any unauthorized actions to change the statute of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church may lead to the emergence of new schism. Any discussions regarding the life of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church should take place within the canonical release and should not lead to a new division in the Church. Followed by the decision of the Council of Bishops of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, Metropolitan Onufry of the Kiev and all Ukraine has refrained from commemorating Patriarch Kirill as the head of the Church during the liturgy held at the Cape Canaveral on 28th of May 2022. Until the declaration of independence, Patriarch Kirill was remembered as the head of autonomous Ukrainian Orthodox Church with the Moscow Patriarchate. Instead, during the liturgy, the Metropolitan read the names and the heads of local churches mentioned in the diapetus as in the practice by the primates of autocephalous Orthodox churches. Hence, Patriarch Kirill was commemorated as the head of Russian Orthodox Church and not as the head of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. That's all for the week. Thank you for watching Orthodoxy Cognate page. Hope to see you in the next week. Thank you.